Are Rob Dillingham and Reed Sheppard going to be taken in the top 5 picks of this year's NBA draft? That's going to be the conversation on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer and editor over at Wildcats Today, joined as always by my co-host, Carson Nash. Carson, getting ready to head out to the beach. Got to be feeling pretty good. What's life like when you're leaving for the beach tomorrow? Feeling good?
Oh, I feel amazing. I am on cloud 9 right now. I am super excited.
It's going to be a fun week. So we're going to do something a little different today, ladies and gentlemen. And we kind of hinted at it last show. We want to talk about some NBA draft stuff and, take a little break from this year's team. We have all off season to talk about what's going on with this year's team. We have months and years and hours and forever to do that. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the players we came to love: Reed Sheppard, Rob Dillingham, Edwards, Antonio Reeves, and what the NBA draft might look for these guys. So, Carson, I'll tell you, Rob Dillingham and Reed Sheppard are slipping in mock drafts recently. And I don't fully understand it. If you watched Rob Dillingham and Reed Sheppard play last year, I don't know how you don't like them as NBA prospects. Now, listen, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. The NBA, you know what they don't do in the NBA, Carson?
What?
Play defense. Why are we so concerned? Seriously, I know if NBA fans, I'm an NBA fan, but that's just the reality here. Scoring is what makes the NBA interesting. And, I just think, yes, they aren't as good defensively as they are offensively. It's reality here. I prefer a player who can score the ball and makes the NBA more exciting. That's what the NBA wants. And so, Reed Sheppard, there's no better shooter than him. There's no better shooter than him in this draft class. Rob Dillingham, there's no better shot creator than him in this draft class. And the fact that they're slipping down the boards, I don't understand. I know they're undersized. That to me is more significant than the defense, and that will play a role when it comes to defense. But Carson, in my opinion, I think fit-wise, it makes sense for Reed to go to the Rockets at 3 and Rob to go to the Spurs at 4. So what would you say about those fits? Do you think that's too high, too low? What do you think about Rob and Reed going at those spots?
Yeah, of course, in my opinion, I think that's where they should be at, because I don't think you can take Reed higher than 3.
Yeah,
because of the two Frenchmen ahead of him that are huge and play like guards. So you're taking them based on pure upside. But the Rockets at 3 is perfect for Reed Sheppard. I think he could go right in and be perfect for them. And then the Spurs with Rob, that's all everything I've been hearing. And I think him with Wemby would be one of the most exciting duos we've seen. You got an alien and Allen Iverson Jr. on the same team. So that to me would be pretty awesome. And the Spurs have 2 top 10 picks. So even if they do pass on Rob at 4, they have 1 at 8. So you may see him slip till then. But I think he does end up a Spur.
Yeah. My thing with Reed and the Rockets, the Rockets, they're a young team with a lot of upside. So you look at the Rockets, and they've got Jalen Green, they've got Alfred Sengun, they've got Jabari Smith Jr. They have a lot of these young pieces who just missed the play-in this year. They almost made the play-in. They're a young team. And Jalen Green, he's their point guard, but
he's more of a 2.
You could move him to the 2, have Reed shoot and facilitate for Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Sengun. That team would be nasty. Really, and then because that's what they were missing, was that guy who can make the 3 at the point.
They're missing a leader. Yeah, is what they're really missing, and Reed Sheppard can step right into that role.
So, and a facilitator, and that's why I think this is the perfect fit for Reed. That's what the Rockets need: a dude who can shoot and a dude who can pass. And that's exactly what Reed can do. He's also got the quick hands. He'll get you some steals, some runouts, some run-out dunks. He'll do all that. But for the most part, what you're going to get out of out of Reed Sheppard is shooting and passing. And that's what the Rockets need. My opinion on Rob with the Spurs, I'm serious. I mean, Rob Dillingham, in my opinion, is the best. When you watch, I wrote this in articles on a weekly basis. Every time I wrote about Rob Dillingham, I said, there is no player that is better fit for the NBA than Rob Dillingham. He was made to be an NBA player. The way he plays, the handles, he was made to play in the NBA. He's undersized. Of course, we've seen undersized guards succeed before. Not often, but when we say undersized, we're not talking Tyler Ulis. We're not talking, like that. He's still 6'1", 6'2". He's not 5'8". Like it could be worse. So he's undersized, but not like undersized where it's like he has zero chance of working in the NBA.
Allen Iverson was also undersized.
Yeah. It happens all the time. Undersized guards, these 6'1", this 6'2", 6'3" guards, they can succeed in the NBA. I mean, Tyrese Maxey, he's 6'2", 6'3". Curry's around there. You know what I mean? Like these players you can have shorter guards who can succeed.
And Rob has elite athleticism. So I don't think his size is that big of a factor because of how great his athleticism is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that. So
same with Reed. He had the highest vertical leap out
42 inches. Yeah.
Yeah. That was, that is impressive.
That was cool to see. And then, so when it comes to Justin Edwards, I've seen him different places in recent drafts. So in this most recent draft I'm looking at right now from CBS Sports, Justin Edwards has not gone in the first round. Now, I have seen him in the first round in most drafts. I think Justin Edwards is going to go with the last 5 picks of the first round. Be my guess. Not a lottery pick, but the last 5 picks of the first round. There's no way you can look at what Justin Edwards did during his time at Kentucky and say that he didn't overachieve. He didn't really achieve what he was supposed to do, but he was solid. He was fine. He heated up toward the end too. And that turned into him playing well in the practice. What do you call them? The scrimmages with the combine. He showed up. Funny text from Luke Pellegrino. So you're going to appreciate this one here in a few minutes. But, he showed up when it mattered most late in the season. And that's why I think that NBA teams are going to give him a shot. And he still has that upside that we talked about, him having. He still has the upside. He can figure it out. How often do we see players like that, Carson, where they don't really achieve what they wanted to, what we thought they were going to be in college, but they kind of figure it out at the next level? Can happen.
Yeah.
I think Edwards can be a player like that.
Look at Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm. That's a great example. Truly a great example. So I want to ask you, I'm going to give you a name and you spit fire real quick. Antonio Reeves, what's going to happen?
Well, what should happen is, I don't know if it's going to be what will happen. I think he should be, my philosophy is I think he's awesome, but his age might handicap him a little bit. I think he should be late first round, but I think he's going to be late to not drafted. I think he's going to be late second round and not drafted, which it baffles me.
Let me ask you this question. And if I'm crazy, I want you to look me in the face and say, I want you to just tell me I'm crazy. I can live with that. Now, if I am an NBA scout, I want Dalton Knecht over Antonio Reeves. I am not sitting here saying that. Not at all saying that. I know that he can take over a game. Dalton Knecht is a better basketball player than Antonio Reeves. I'm not going to argue that. What I am going to argue is that if your argument is he's old, Dalton Knecht's old. What has Antonio Reeves not done to prove that he should be drafted? You know what I mean? And please do not misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's better than Dalton Knecht. I'm not saying any of that. Not saying that. Dalton Knecht, I do believe, is going to be a really good player in the NBA. Reeves, he's a 6'6" shooter who can handle the ball. He can get to the rim. He can score. He can shoot. He can do everything you need. So that
Average 20 points per game at Kentucky
in the SEC. Seriously, am I off on this, Carson? Am I far off on this?
No, I agree with you. I think it's crazy that he's projected where he is right now.
And I'm not saying he should be a first-round pick. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there is no shot that he should not be taken in the NBA draft.
He'll be one of those guys people look back and be like, why did we not take him earlier?
But the thing about it is, and I'll tell you this, he's got to get drafted. If he doesn't get drafted, I don't see this ending well. If he gets taken with the second-round pick, I believe that he's going to be able to prove it. But if he does not, I think we're in trouble.
But in my opinion, I think he's brought his game to a point where he's literally good at everything. He can beat his man off the dribble and get a bucket. He can create his own shot. He's a great three-point shooter. He's a good foul shot shooter. I just think teams would be ridiculous not to take a chance on him.
Yeah. He's worth a second-round pick for a team. There's no question. He has experience. He's an older guy. And sometimes with second-round picks, that's when you see this stuff work out. He's older. He's played a lot of basketball. There's no reason Antonio Reeves should not be taken in this year's NBA draft. And if he's not, I just think that's a mistake by these teams. And somebody's going to regret it. I really hope that he gets taken and he turns into a star that we all think he can be, because nobody deserves it more. So before we call it a day, Carson, give me your guess. Give me within like a couple pick range, where do all four of the players that we have discussed get drafted here at the end of this month?
Yeah, Reed, I think top 3. Rob, I'd say top 10.
Yeah.
I think Justin's going to be top 40. And then Reeves is, I'd say, top 60. I'd say, because I'd guess second, I'd say 30 through 60. I think he'll get picked in that range.
Yeah. I think I don't understand the why Rob is dropping in mock drafts. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to get that. I do not get that. So I think that Reed, I think he's going to go to the Rockets. I really do. I don't think he's going to slip past 5, but I think he goes to the Rockets. I think it just makes sense. I think he goes either Spurs or Rockets at 3, Spurs at 4, Pistons at 5. He goes in those 3 picks, but I just think the Rockets makes the most sense for how we can help a team immediately.
I think the Pistons makes like the least amount of sense.
I agree. And that's where they have him mocked here. I agree with you on that.
You already got Cade Cunningham. Like, why would you need another point guard?
Yeah, I'm with you on the Spurs taking him at 8th. I think that Dillingham at 8th. I think that makes sense a little bit too. But I think Rob goes top 10. I think that Justin Edwards is going to sneak into those last 5 picks of the first round. That's my guess. I think he's going to sneak in there that, 26, 27, 28, 25, that range. And then I think Reeves gets taken with one of the last 5 picks of the draft. And I really do. Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we're going to call it a day. And this is a fun one. Which of these players has the best NBA career?
Rob Dillingham. And I'm also going to spit some fire at you, too.
Let me hear it.
He's going to win the Rookie of the Year.
You can't. I've been saying that for like 4 months.
I've been saying it, too.
You can't come at me. I've been saying that.
I've been saying it. I said it. You can go back on pod. Actually, if someone wants to go pull it up, I said it before he did. I know I did. I
have wrote that in an article before you were born. Like this is well documented that I have laid claim to that statement. There is no debate to it. I think so too. I think Reed
board is crazy.
Yeah. I think that Reed is going to have a really solid career. I do. And I think he's going to be a great player. Rob Dillingham, if he was 6'5", this would very much be a true statement. But he was made in a lab for the NBA. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to be a star. People have said this is one of the most underwhelming draft classes in like 25 years. So if someone's going to be this diamond in the rough star, I think it's going to be Rob Dillingham. I think he has a chance to be the best player in this draft class, let alone these Kentucky players. So that is my take there. So Carson, you want to share your thoughts about recent coaching news that nothing's happened yet, but
yeah. So speaking of the NBA, the Lakers apparently have offered Dan Hurley a massive long-term contract. And he actually told his team today that he is thinking it over. And so this is actually serious news. And in my opinion, I think he'll accept, because you ought to be out of your mind turning down Kentucky and the Lakers in the same offseason. Like, who in the world does that?
Yeah. I think he takes it too. I do too. And then where UConn goes from there will be very interesting. And listen,
it'll turn college basketball back on its head again, like it was when Cal left.
I don't want to sound like a little scared kid, but my goodness, get him the heck out of here, man. I'm cool with it. You go. You go. Yeah. I've had enough of you. You get out of here. I'm all in on that.
Who knows what happens for us afterwards? Because, we had 2 targets that ended up choosing UConn over us. So
it just would be so hard to take one of those guys with one spot.
I agree. It's going to be very challenging, but you never know. You never know how it's going to shake up.
Unless we show somebody the door, but I'd feel really bad about that. So that's something to pay attention to. But this is just college basketball news wise. That is something very relevant to pay attention to over the next few days. And then where UConn goes from there is going to be. This is a team that is probably preseason top 5 that probably just drops off the map if he goes. So not off the map.
I've heard that they might be looking in-house too, though.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And if they do that, they'll probably be able to hold on to more players. But
that's what their thought process.
I think the best coach in college hoops. So
yeah.
So we'll see. Carson, any other thoughts before you hit the road for Hilton Head?
No other thoughts than some nooners on the beach. That's all that's on my mind right now.
That sounds absolutely spectacular. Well, everybody, tell Carson I hope he has a good time at the beach. Carson, hope you have a good time, buddy. We will see y'all on Tuesday. We're going to get something done from the beach.
We're still bringing y'all some content while I'm on the vacay.
There you go. So we'll have a show for you on Tuesday. We'll figure out what it's going to be about. We do also have some big potential podcast news coming soon, so we'll hint at that. Don't know when I'm going to be allowed to share that, but just stay tuned. There's some cool stuff coming y'all's way that's going to really make this show take it to the next level. So hope everybody has an outstanding weekend. Get some fun stuff done. Go out, get in the sun, and we will see you on Tuesday.